Hello, and welcome to another episode of No, We're Actually Scared. I'm your host, Johnny Paranoia, alongside my co-host, Dusty Davenport.
And we're on to the great state of Virginia, where we're going to talk about one of the most famous urban legends in the state, the legend of the Bunny Man.
Virginia is for lovers.
Let's talk some nonsense. And here we go with a fun podcast this week. State of Virginia. I wanted to get back to the states. I know we've been drifting away a little bit.
That was the original plan.
Yeah, we got excited with Operation Paperclip. And I thought the divination episode was going to take off, but our people in Sweden actually didn't download this week.
Yeah, shout out to Sweden.
Yeah, we got a big following in Sweden, but not for divination. They're not into the witches.
No, it probably doesn't exist there.
Yeah.
No Swedish meatballs.
You know the portal to hell is like under CERN in Sweden, right?
Yes. Scary to think about.
It's very interesting. We had a big portal to hell theme at the beginning of this podcast. I feel like our first 7 episodes all had a portal to hell.
Everything had a portal. Everything is a portal. I'm starting to think this table might be a portal.
Do you remember going on Wikipedia and just being like, oh, let's look up the actual portals to hell, because they say there's 7 portals to hell. And then we would find 15 more.
Yeah.
I don't think there's 7.
Constantly.
Yeah.
They're in every state.
They're interchangeable. They're like power rankings.
Yeah, well, I think if you do a ritual, I think you open up a portal to hell.
Don't you?
You have to. You know what is a ritual, though? Liking and subscribing this podcast, guys.
Oh, absolutely.
Share it with your friends. Tell your mom about it. She'll dig it.
Oh, yeah. We're on Twitter. Johnny Paranoia is on Twitter by himself. I have the No We're Actually Scared Twitter up there.
I'm in a crazy space in Twitter. It's just the Wild West out there. Everything goes. I think I see a beheading video
weekly.
Once a day. It's crazy.
Yeah, Twitter's messed up, man.
There's nothing
It's
but
a traumatizing space right
nothing
now.
but death, man. Car accidents, train accidents.
That house blowing up.
I don't even ask. I don't search for anything like that on Twitter.
Yeah, it was funny. We were just talking about doing a Virginia
X.
episode, and then we were just scrolling around Twitter, and then we saw the guy in Virginia's house just blow up on Twitter.
Yep. That's a crazy video.
Yeah.
You want to go watch a house blow up?
Yeah, that's a wild one. And I love how the article title says "Conspiracy Theorist Blows Up His Own House."
Yeah. Yeah. Washington Post for you.
Great title.
Yeah, but make sure you guys follow us. Follow the podcast wherever you listen to it, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. And make sure you follow us on TikTok and X.
Yeah. Interesting thing on TikTok, I'm going to start the Fangoria Top 100 Movies of 2024. Horror movies, of course. I'm not watching dramedies.
About time you did a movie thing, man.
I know. I'm waiting. So I just posted the first video today talking about X. I'm going to run through all 100. Even if you just check them out to see what the movies are on the list, it's a good way to do it. I'll put the poster behind me. You'll know what to watch. You'll probably see something you haven't seen before.
Now, how are you going to do it? Are you doing a synopsis on it, or are you going to do a review of the movie?
I'm trying to be as Gen Z as possible and knock it out in a minute. So I'm just trying to be here's the movie. It should be on the list. It shouldn't be on the list. This is what the movie happened.
All right.
What happened in the movie, and then
something interesting. I like that.
No, it's going to be quick. It's going to be as quick as I can make it.
Hey, all content is good content, right?
That's it. We're trying to get it going, guys. Follow us on TikTok.
I like it. Please.
Let's get into Virginia. All right, so we're going to talk about the legend of the Bunny Man.
The Bunny Man?
So here's a good one. They say the inspiration for Donnie Darko comes from this urban legend.
Really?
Yeah, so Frank the Bunny from Donnie Darko with Jake Gyllenhaal, it is supposedly inspired by all this.
No shit.
But, it has nothing to do with the story, but I guess just the idea that somebody in a bunny costume is walking around.
Is it some guy that, got pissed off that he's only making minimum wage at the shopping mall?
He's like a mascot for a Virginia high school football team.
Yeah, that or taking pictures with children at the shopping mall.
Oh, for Easter.
Yeah,
right,
for
Easter.
Easter
Bunny. All right, I didn't pick up on that.
He's out there hiding egg. Hey, I'll spell it out next time.
So the funny thing is with this, it actually starts from a place of a true story.
Really?
Yeah, so in 1970...
Aren't all urban legends, though, based on a true story somewhere?
There has to be something connected to it to make it real. So we had 2 publications, though.
Whoa.
So interesting. 2 publications.
You believe the news?
You ever... This is... Okay, I'm gonna get you guys into a big theory here. This is going to be a problem, but...
Uh-oh.
All right. So do you remember when there was a coup attempted on the Russian government?
No.
You don't remember that? There was that little guy, he tried to do that, and then they just basically agreed not to do it. Putin paid him off, and they stopped that. You remember that? You remember that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so during
yes.
that time when that happened,
Yes.
Submarine with a bunch of millionaires sunk to the bottom of the ocean and blew up.
Oh.
And it just seemed to be that was what everyone talked about for those 2 weeks, and not the fact that there was a coup on the Russian government, possibly funded by our government. Allegedly.
Trying to overthrow Putin.
Yeah, allegedly we might have funded that.
It could have happened.
It's interesting. They lost a certain amount of money during that time, too.
I like that they blew up their own pipeline. I'm a big fan of that story.
That's a good one, too. But it's funny when you have these, like, serious issues and things, there's always, like, something... like comically ridiculous. It's not comical that a submarine blew up and people died, but it's comically ridiculous that like, hey, focus on the submarine that just blew up and not the coup that just was instituted. And
you're kind of over you're kind of blasphemy with that. It's not comical. The dude was steering the fucking submarine with a PlayStation controller.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he was controlling it with like a DualShock 4.
Get out of
PS4
here.
controller, dude.
The submarine?
The submarine. Do you think if you got in there and you saw the fucking submarine pilot with a PlayStation controller, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, this is solid? No, he's literally having a fucking PlayStation controller.
Well, they said these billionaires like paid him off to like skip all the security checks and everything too.
Yeah, they skipped everything. There was all faulty.
They were just like, no, we're going.
They like an engineering group like failed the submarine and everything.
But that story was so big, and the coup story was so small.
You didn't even know about it.
Yeah, and that's why I wonder when they post a story about the Bunny Man, what was happening in 1970.
I'm sure a lot of things. Vietnam, for one. Vietnam.
So, the initial story, October 19th, 1970. Let's get into it. Air Force cadet with his fiance.
MK Ultra victim.
Not an MK Ultra victim. An Air Force cadet with his fiance were just driving along this road. They went to a football game in Virginia. They were visiting relatives, and they parked in a field across from their uncle. While they were sitting in this field, they noticed some movement around the cars. They saw some like scurrying and scuffling, right?
Ooh.
All of a sudden, passenger's window crash.
What?
Yeah, they fucking booked it, and they heard this guy. The air cadet looked at this guy, looks at him. He's dressed in a bunny suit.
What sounds do bunnies make? Like, you ever think about that? Like a cow goes
like an onomatopoeia? Like, I don't know.
A dog barks, a cat meows. What sound does a bunny make?
I don't think they make any sound.
They don't make any sound.
Did they squeal?
That's crazy. He's making a lot of noise. He's not a good bunny.
But anyways, this dude's looking, and there's a guy standing here in a bunny costume.
That's crazy.
And he says, "You're trespassing. Get off my property."
Whoa.
Like, you need to leave now, or I'm going to take your tag and call the police type of thing.
Did they have furries back in the 70s?
That's a good question.
It could have been a
dressed in a bunny costume.
Could have been.
Do you think it went back that far?
It could have been the original furry. That's the OG furry.
OG furry.
The OG furry in Virginia. Virginia is for lovers, right?
So anyways, they drive the car. They book it away. They look at the floor of the passenger side, and there's a hatchet on the ground. So it looked like he threw a hatchet through this window.
So now I'm a little confused. The Air Force guy was in the car. He's not the bunny man.
No, he's driving.
He's just like
he's driving with
he's
his
the
fiance.
victim. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So the reports later said the Air Force guy was like, that was a fucking bunny. And the fiance was like, you don't know what he's talking about. So she kind of resented what he was saying, but he was like, no, that was a guy in a fucking bunny costume.
It definitely is MK Ultra. Jolly West was involved. Jolly West was in the bunny suit.
So 10 days later, we're talking 10 days, a security guard, right? He's walking around this area, and he sees a man standing on a porch on a house that's being built. It's not finished.
All right.
He goes up. The man, as he's approaching the man yells at him. He says, "You're trespassing, and I'll chop your head off if you come any closer."
What
the man then proceeds, in a bunny costume, by the way, same deal.
Jeez.
Still in a bunny costume.
This guy's getting his freak on
Takes
out
his
there.
axe and starts chopping at the porch of the unfinished house.
What?
As if he's protecting this land. So I have a theory. I think this bunny's just a staunch libertarian. He really believes in property rights.
He's an amendment guy?
He really believes in property rights, and he doesn't agree with trespassing.
Yeah, that's him hacking the porch with a hatchet. Like, what is this? A deer knife? Like a buck knife? A little buck knife?
Well,
or is it a fucking?
I think it was
like
a
an
hatchet
axe?
he threw, but I think it was like an axe. He was like hacking like the structure with.
That's creepy to watch.
So they're like, don't put up stuff on this dude's supposed lawn.
Yeah, obviously. That's that guy definitely has some issues, man. Like, I think he's the original furry, to be honest with you. That's my theory. This guy was just trying to get his freak on, go to a fucking furry convention down at the Air Force Base. and they canceled the event. And he got angry. Now, wasn't there something with, like, dead rabbits, too?
Okay, so this is the crazy thing about this urban legend is that it's all over the place. So there's, like, this is, like, the official story because these were the stories that were posted in the paper.
Okay.
So these were, like, documented cases of, like, things that really happened. They were actually, like, thought about. Mm-hmm. But there's a million different variations on this, and we'll get into some of those in a little bit.
See, now, are those just different stories or different sightings?
It's hard to say they're all connected because it's kind of like the story of the Bunny Man, and it just keeps changing.
Right.
But here's an interesting thing. So after that second one, there were almost like 50 more articles published. The Washington Post posted articles. I have some of the titles right here. You ready?
I'm ready.
Man in bunny suit sought in Fairfax. The rabbit appears. Bunny Man strikes again. Bunny Man seen. Bunny Man reports multiplying. This is the Washington Post.
Well, don't bunnies multiply quite a bit, right? He's definitely hitting some of those conventions.
I think they were going for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the crazy story about the urban legend of the Bunny Man is that this story was replicated so many times.
Right. I mean, it's a creepy image. Just think about it. You're driving down a road, and all of a sudden you look and you see a fucking bunny.
There's something
like the Easter bunny, like the Easter bunny from the mall, is standing in the woods with a hatchet. Like, it's a pretty scary image, man.
I just picture a dude like unshaven, smoking like a menthol cigarette in a bunny costume.
I just think that it's
he's like, get off my lawn.
Yeah, he's an alcoholic. He's got a 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the Easter bunny with a 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah, he's all fucked up, man. What are you doing in Virginia, man?
Yeah. All right, so we'll go to the second version of the story.
All right.
So in 1999, a website
recent.
posted a story of the Bunny Man. And their version was that the Bunny Man was a convict named Douglas Griffin. He was being transported from one prison to another by bus, and he was able to escape.
That's the beginning of Halloween, man.
That's
Michael Myers.
Michael Myers is the Bunny Man.
I could see.
I think John Carpenter ripped off the Bunny Man.
The timeline would
Allegedly.
add up, right? I mean, when did Halloween come out? Like 1979?
Yeah, but this is saying 1904. But 1999 is when they talked about this story, though.
Yeah, because they
found the story.
They found the story.
Right, yeah, that's true. Yeah, who knows?
Where did he get his research from? Jolly West, probably.
Yeah, a lot of people discount this story, but the story is that these people escaped, and they started seeing half-eaten bunnies, like around this area where it escaped. And it's over this overpass called Colchester Overpass. And it's been said that he scares little kids out from the underpass with his hatchet.
He would scare me.
Dude, if a bunny's sitting with a hatchet, I don't think you need to be a kid, but this dude really doesn't want anything built there and really doesn't want anything. But anyways, it said that he killed these kids, and they look just like the half-eaten bunny rabbits that they found all around.
Jesus.
So
That's a brutal one.
no record of this. This is probably all nonsense and made up on a creepypasta forum, but interesting.
It is interesting.
Bunny Man's real, though.
I like the story.
And are you ready for, you know how we have the U.S. version of The Office and there's the U.K. version of The Office? This is the U.K. version of the Bunny Man. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay, so in a police station in the U.K., back in the 1900s, a bunch of detainees said that they were beaten bloody by a man dressed in a bunny costume. Upon, researching their claims and looking into this, they found a police locker and opened it up and found a bunny costume.
They found a bunny
covered in
costume.
blood. So my theory is that one of these guards put on a bunny costume and was like, no one's gonna believe them.
That
they
a bunny
this
beat him
story
up?
and beat him up as a bunny, and
obviously,
and then put it in their locker.
Yeah, who would? I mean, you're at a police station, well, a jail. Who's gonna believe a bunny? It's coming to me.
I got beat up by a bunny, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
Roger Rabbit just beat me up.
Yeah.
What's the other bunny name? I'm trying to think of Peter Cottontail.
Bugs Bunny.
Peter Cottontail.
Yeah. The guy sounds like Elmer Fudd, man. Hunting rabbit. Hunting wabbit.
But yeah, that's pretty much the story of the bunny man. What if the bunny man transcends a human form? What if he's a spirit and he just gets into other people and then they just have the extreme urge to put on a bunny costume
or he could be a cryptid. Like it's a giant bunny.
What if it actually is a bunny?
Bunny, yeah.
I feel like that'd be fucking nuts.
Like that would
it's a real bunny.
That'd be fucking crazy. Now that's like an Alice in Wonderland trip that I don't want to take. You know,
the Hatchet Bunny.
Yeah. It sounds like Five Nights at Freddy, like something like in that.
Yeah. Like an animatronic.
Yeah, like I'm going to Chuck E. Cheese's, but
yeah, it's the bunny.
It's the bunny.
And now he's picking up hatchets.
Yeah.
And he chucks them through windows.
Yeah. That's pretty scary though. You think about that.
Yeah.
Didn't you have a story where you were driving and like a deer ran through your window or whatever?
Oh, so funny. On Halloween once, we were just driving, and I was passed through the stop sign. All of a sudden, a deer just hits the side of my car, like
that's
falls
crazy.
Down and gets up and runs away.
That's nuts.
That was deer hit me. In New York, we have deers everywhere.
Everywhere.
I said deers. We have deer everywhere. I gotta stop doing that.
Singular.
That's my white trash showing.
That is. Just wear it on your sleeve, bud. Just wear it on your sleeve.
I also hit one in my Mustang once. That was fucking crazy.
Oh, well, that's what you get for driving a Mustang.
Yeah.
That is a little questionable. Probably going to a furry convention. Probably had your suit in the trunk, dude.
Just like Peter Cottontail.
Those people are something.
Yeah, that's a weird thing.
Yeah, that's a niche. I just think of you ever see oh my god.
That sounds like VD waiting to happen.
I can't think of the Entourage. You ever watch Entourage?
Yeah, with Johnny Drama.
Johnny Drama. Yeah. I just think of that every time I hear anything with a furry. Tim Dillon too also just had on his new Netflix special.
Did it come out?
He had a furry on tried to convince the guy to stay in America. Did you watch it? You didn't watch it? Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. Good?
It's pretty funny. Well, Tim Dillon's fucking hilarious. He's hilarious.
He's the funniest dude.
He's hilarious. But like I said, it's like Jerry Springer 2024.
Right.
No, minus the fighting. You know, I mean, they're not fist fighting, but
yeah.
I don't think they would approve that. But it would have been pretty funny if they allowed that. But there was a furry on that show. That's why it's fresh in my head. It's funny that we're doing the bunny man and
thinking about
and
furries.
a furry. I just literally watched the episode like a day ago.
I don't know how many times we could say furries in the next 5 minutes. Let's move on.
Let's move on.
I know you got a story about was he a clairvoyant?
Yeah, he was a clairvoyant. He said he wasn't, and he was a Christian, and he believed in. But he has a cool story. His name was Edgar Casey. Ever hear of him?
Maybe.
Edgar Casey. He achieved fame. He lost his voice, and he went to go see a doctor, quotation marks doctor, and his
osteopath. I think
that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. And his voice came back when
I'm remembering this.
Put him under hypnosis.
Oh yeah.
So he gained like worldwide fame from.
Yeah, he was a mute.
Yep,
he got hypnotized.
And then his voice magically came back.
And then he could talk again. You think he just stopped talking?
Yeah, 100%.
And then he's like, "Yo, bro, I got an idea.
Yeah.
I got an idea."
We're gonna reach out to a newspaper, and I'm gonna tell a story that I lost my voice. I'm just gonna sit here, so you're gonna have to do all the talking, and then you're gonna put me under hypnosis, and I'm gonna get it back. Sound good?
We're gonna be big,
huge. Well, this is 1909, so like all this clairvoyant shit is like real big, real. Yeah, around that turn of the century, it's seances.
They start thinking about that stuff, reincarnation.
Spirituality, everything like that starts coming up. So he gets worldwide fame. He gets printed in newspapers for this, and he ends up working with another doctor named, I didn't write down his name. Oh, Dr. Ketchum.
Yeah.
Dr. Ketchum. And he starts reaching out to people where he started diagnosing people's illnesses through the supernatural. So that's kind of like a weird plane to be on. You know what I mean?
You ever think he's just like, you gotta die?
Yo, 100%. I mean, what did people die of? You know, dysentery.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it didn't take much. You know,
just look at him and be like, you don't look good.
Yeah, you look yellow. I think there's something wrong with your liver. You might be a little jaundiced. But yeah, he started diagnosing people through the supernatural. So, you know, that's another thing too, is like he started diagnosing Did he heal anybody through diagnosis? Like, through this supernatural field that he was on?
I remember, like, looking at this a while ago because I knew we were going to do this.
Yeah.
But I think they said, like, he basically, like, said people were going to die. Like, that basically we're going to die.
We're going to die.
Like, he knew, like, you could just see that they were going to die.
Like we said, it didn't
There were a lot of people that discounted him, I remember.
I think we could have been clairvoyants in 1909.
Yeah. John Edwards it?
Yeah.
I'm hearing soar.
Death is coming. You know? But, so he ends up doing this. He ends up going bankrupt. So he went back to work with Dr. Ketchum. And he traveled all over, too, which is another red flag.
Yeah.
Like, he started in, like, Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Yeah, he gave one bad prediction, and he's like,
I'm out of here.
Go to Texas.
Yeah, I'm out of here. So he goes to Alabama. He goes to Selma. That's where he starts taking money for, like, to be a clairvoyant.
Yeah.
Starts reading people's futures and diagnosing them and helping with business decisions. There's a story that they used him to find oil fields where the oil is in the ground. So can you imagine betting on this guy? Like,
can you imagine the pitch in that business meeting? Like,
not-
hey, we're oil tycoons. I got a guy in Selma. Hold on. He's going to come in.
He knows where the oil is.
He knows where the oil is.
He knows. Yeah, I could see right below my feet right now. A lot of liquid gold.
Keep going. Keep going.
And then also people would pay him to try to get a beat on the cotton market.
Oh, jeez.
There was a guy that offered him $100 a day to predict the price of cotton.
So this is like a Wall Street trader guy, dude. Like, he's like a genius.
Yeah.
Not. He's just a clairvoyant, like a fake genius.
Yeah, when can I sell my cotton at the highest price? Oh, next Tuesday. Next Tuesday looks good. And by the time you think about that, too, it's like a cotton farmer in, like, Louisiana.
Yeah.
How long does it take to get that stock price back in 1910? You know, in, like, Louisiana from New York.
That's true.
It took days, probably
Right.
weeks. So how can you not manipulate the market, you know?
Oh.
But that was another thing. And then he came to be world famous when he wrote Miracle Man of Virginia Beach.
Oh.
And that's where he died.
That was our connection to Virginia. He was mostly in Alabama, huh? I like it, though.
Alabama, Texas.
He ended in Virginia anyway.
Yeah, he was a Roll Tide guy.
Yeah.
He was a Roll Tide. Yeah, so he wrote The Miracle Man. A lot of people said that he was a little
phony.
Yeah, a little
big
phony.
Fat phony.
Yeah, big fat phony. A little bit of a charlatan, you know.
But it's interesting how people could be manipulated back in like the 1900s.
But I mean, it didn't take much.
Right.
I mean, just think of like having like the freak shows, like people set up like the side shows.
Yeah.
To be like, come see the
Bearded
woman.
lady.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know, like it's definitely an interesting time to think about. I just think of Mad Men every time I hear like 1910 now, 1920. Yeah. I go right to Mad Men.
Or like bootleg runners, or like
that's all they did.
All that stuff.
That's all they did.
But yeah, it'd be so easy to manipulate the minds of people.
Yeah, but like I said, like the entertainment were like burlesque shows and drinking.
Yeah, how do you take drinking away from those people?
And then it's like, oh, well, what else we got? All right, let's talk to the dead for a while. We got no electricity, no TV, radios on a limited basis, and
yeah, that's kind of nuts.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine being around with no TV.
It'd be a crazy time.
It's weird. Like you always say like, "Oh, I'm born in the wrong time." That's the newest thing for everyone to say is, "I'm born in the wrong time." Like, yeah, I'll take 70s, 80s, but like, I don't need to go back to the 40s, 30s.
I don't know, man. There's something about the Wild West.
Oh, you want to go way back?
I want to go then. Yeah.
I just think you'd end up with an infection at dead at 47.
Oh,
not even 40, 27.
Yeah, 27. Yeah, probably 27.
Yeah, you probably have 4 kids.
Yeah, I would get shot at a poker game.
Yeah,
like I would win or cheat or something at poker, and I would be gunned down in the middle of the street. That's the way I would probably go out, to be honest with you. Not paying a debt off. You know, stealing someone's gold or out of their horse, out of the saddle.
Yeah.
That would be the way I would go.
I think I'd want to be like one of those bounty hunter guys that just goes around like trying to chase people down.
Yeah.
They give you the reward money thing.
I would have probably killed you then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not giving you my gold back.
Yeah.
I need it for poker. But you know what the thing is that's appealing to that time period for me?
Yeah.
The freedom.
Yeah.
Like, there's no commitment to job. Like, I mean,
Right.
money wasn't like, yeah, you needed money. Don't get me wrong. There were wealthy people back then.
Yeah.
And it was different classes of society. But, like, oh, I could go set up a homestead in the middle of, like, Texas.
You create a full community.
And you got everything you need. You know, you got your land, you got your farm, you got... It always kind of appealed to me.
Yeah, that is interesting.
You know?
Like, I like the idea of building your own place.
Right.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like they were property. They were giving away the land for free, basically.
It's crazy.
Like, oh, hey, you want to go out west? We'll give you $100 and 200 acres. Like,
yes, please.
yeah, okay, I'll take the gamble.
And some sunshine.
You just gotta avoid like the Apaches and
Yeah.
don't
dodge a couple of things.
probably dodge a couple of things. But yeah, it definitely seemed like an interesting time.
Yeah, I'm thinking 70s, 80s, 90s. I'm good. I'll be born in 70.
Yeah,
Yeah. About 20 in 1990. Probably like peak time right there.
yeah.
That's a good spot.
I just look at it. I'd be retired by now.
Yeah.
So that's the way I would look at it. Like, oh yeah, I'm retired. I'm free.
Retirement sounds nice. Freedom sounds nice.
With every channel on the television you could dream of.
Speaking of freedom, there's not a lot of it with Washington, D.C. and Quantico in the area.
No, that's Big Brother.
Big Brother, NSA, everything's in Virginia.
There's a lot in Virginia.
Yeah.
George Washington birthplace.
What was that one thing you said about Virginia that the housing market was the highest, like, in that small area around?
Oh, well,
the White
that's
House
around
for all the
Washington.
lobbyists?
That's Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
The four richest counties in the United States are surrounding Washington,
Are
D.C.
all right next to our thing, lining our politicians' pockets.
Just lining them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little odd, right? What do you think so?
Yeah, the four richest counties.
Yeah.
They all want to just be just close enough to power to influence it without being in it.
Well, it's filled, but it's not. It's crazy. It's all bureaucrats. You know, it's not elected officials. It's all just lobbyists. It's all business owners.
Yeah, there's no senator that owns
No.
the house there. No, it's some guy that's going to talk to the senator and take him out for a nice steak dinner.
Like Bezos, I think he has a $40 million house there.
Well, that's smart, isn't it?
It's crazy.
That's very interesting how he got that deal to go by.
Henry Kissinger.
He got a huge sum of money and then bought MGM, I think, too.
Did he?
Not MGM.
I don't know what he
What's
bought.
the movie company? I don't know. He bought something.
Fox?
big.
No, Fox is Disney.
This is all a legend. This is bad research, guys.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible research.
I'm just making false claims.
20th century. I'm just thinking of movie companies. 20th century Fox.
It was fun. They gave him like this huge break and huge money sum from the U.S. government, and then just right after that, Amazon bought like a huge production company.
Well, just think of this one though. It's just like how we always say like corporations are the government.
Yeah.
Just think of like Amazon, like Prime. Oh, they got a great shipping rate with the post office. Well, yeah, because Amazon's basically the government, dude.
They are.
They're basically the government. Oh, no wonders why it's so cheap to ship through the government. I'm a government facility, you know.
Think about how much commerce and tax money comes through Amazon.
It's crazy.
And
But
they
he
say,
pays
They
no.
say he pays no taxes.
Yeah, he pays
But I
no.
mean, like the amount of taxes generated through the commerce of Amazon.
Well, I mean, you
It's
got
got to be astronomical.
How many-
If that amount of money would be taken out of the system,
it'd be detrimental.
it'd be gone.
But just think of all the jobs. Like, I know they're not the greatest jobs, but he has how many warehouse workers?
Yeah.
How many delivery cars? How many people are subcontracted?
Yeah.
That's just income taxes alone from
Right. That's what
your
I'm saying.
warehouse
If you took
workers.
away that, but then again, also if you took away all that, maybe we'd have communities and stronger bonds and
Yeah, you wouldn't
better
have
things to do.
you wouldn't be waiting for your toothbrush to come in.
Yeah, I could still go to Best Buy. It wouldn't be closed down. There wouldn't be three things
Yeah.
on the shelf.
I know, because everything's locked away nowadays too.
Oh, that too.
We went to Rite Aid.
But you ever think this is like a crazy strategy for Amazon, dude? Have all these stores lock everything up and do all this, and then they shut down,
Yeah.
and then all the business gets directed to Amazon.
Yeah, because it's just easier to order from your couch and be lazy instead of going to the store.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's just like a funnel to Amazon.
That's why commercial real estate is like dead.
And like it's crazy. Like Amazon tries to push the small business narrative, but their rates and everything, the cut that they
Oh,
get, from,
yeah.
like it's nuts, man. Like I'm sure people make money on Amazon, but the cut is crazy. It's like 30%, and all they're doing is putting their product on their website.
Yeah.
Their real estate site, that link is worth 30%.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, it's a moneymaker and a half. But yeah, that's a weird thing where it's like overlap government and
Yeah, these
capitalism.
big communities all surrounding it. The richest counties.
Yeah.
Richmond, north of Richmond, right?
No, yeah, that's right.
That's where it comes from.
That's what he was talking about.
That's it.
And then, Henry Kissinger. I got into a thing where it was like, you ever hear of Bilderberg?
Bilderberg Group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched a whole documentary on it.
Yeah.
Dude, it's crazy. Those are the people that run the world. They live in that neighborhood.
Oh, of course they do. So Virginia's a very sketchy place. I mean, that's where I think we close off on it. It's just corruption at its finest.
And we were like looking at a lot of different things for Virginia, and it was like a lot of revolutionary, like ghost hunts, like your typical,
Like early settlement.
Yeah, Revolutionary
places.
War. There was a lot of war there, and I mean,
Yeah.
like, how much can you talk about like? Oh, there's a soldier walking around the property,
Yeah, yelling.
We've all heard that story. Oh,
So we tried to find the most confusing thing possible.
100.
And a guy dressed in a bunny suit.
we try to go, not above and beyond because our research is half-ass, but we do try to go into the little off-beaten path.
Yeah, I want you to hear a story that you probably haven't heard.
Yeah,
The normies haven't heard. I mean, if you're really into this stuff, you might have heard all of it.
like we
but-
could have talked about like Martha Washington's fucking.
Yeah.
Who wants?
And there's a road there too, but like we just did Clinton Road.
Yep.
And I think Clinton Road's like
Way better.
that's the top road.
Yeah,
So
there's nothing touching that road.
yeah, so I don't want to do another road episode.
Yeah. No,
So
I
the
agree.
Bunny Man was a good idea, I think.
I agree with that. Go off the urban legend. I like that one.
And like we said, we always talk some nonsense.
It's all nonsense.
Subscribe to us. Follow us on TikTok, Twitter.
Tell your mom, tell your dad,
Yeah, we need some downloads.
tell your friends.
We love you, Sweden. We love meatballs.
Yeah, I
Stop
know.
making hadron colliders.
Yeah.
Stop like fucking with atoms and shit.
Yeah, stop bashing elements together.
Yeah, we don't need Mandela effects anymore.
Yeah.
Shazam was a real movie.
More Swedish models.
There was definitely a fucking cornucopia,
More Swedish models.
and it was the Bernstein Bears.
less atom collisions. The Bernstein
Did I miss
Bears.
anyone? Oh, how about Nelson Mandela? I always thought he was dead.
More Swedish
I'm
hockey
literally
players.
the most gullible Mandela effect person I've ever met in my life. I believed every single one I've seen.
That's the one thing that I can't get into.
There was one though, that J.C. Penney. I never got that one. I was like,
I don't even know what you're talking about. JCPenney.
oh, they say it was spelled different.
Really?
Yeah,
With
before the CERN thing, it was spelled different.
EY.
And they've like pulled out like what do you call it? They pulled out the old, the catalogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they pulled out catalogs where it was spelled differently.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a whole Mandela effect thing.
I don't see that.
You don't buy into it?
No, I don't buy
the
into
Mandela
it.
effect? You don't remember the cornucopia on the Fruit of the Loom?
You
don't remember the Bernstein Bears?
no.
We went to grade school together. I know we read the Bernstein Bears.
I'm telling you, dude, none of that shit like ever comes to me.
Just doesn't click. No deja vu, no nothing.
No. I understand the alternative timelines
Yeah.
that they say, like, oh, every change was an alternative. There was a time warp. That was something happened there that threw off our time pattern.
Did we already talk about CERN?
No, well, we talked about it. We probably
I feel like we
touched on
always
it
talked
a
about it.
little bit.
Yeah.
But I think it's a whole episode.
I know. Just talking about their satanic ritual.
There's like 20 things that you could talk about. They got the God particle.
So I guess if we do a Mandela effect episode, we just make it a CERN episode where we mention the Mandela effect.
Okay. I could dig into it.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do that.
It just seems so baseline, though.
I know. Everyone looks in the Mandela effect. And,
Like
and I feel like people know CERN by now at this point, too.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, then we'll do HARP.
What's HARP?
You don't know HARP?
No, what's HARP?
That's the weather control.
Oh. Yeah, there's a lot going on with that right now.
Yeah, that's a hot topic. Yeah, we'll do HARP. How the government controls the weather with frequencies.
What about Havana syndrome? You remember that?
Havana syndrome would be a good dig, too. There was just an article recently that they were like ambassadors in, I forgot what country they were in, maybe Brazil, that they came back and there was like 9 ambassadors that suffered from Havana syndrome.
Like diagnosed.
Diagnosed with Havana syndrome.
Nuts.
Diagnosed with Havana syndrome.
Oh, it's wild stuff, guys. Wild stuff. I hope you like our podcast. I hope you follow and subscribe. Leave us a comment. Tell us what episode you want us to do, and I'm happy to do it. And we'd love to have a guest. I keep posting on Twitter. Tell us your ghost stories. I'll read them, or I'll have you on the podcast. It only takes 2 seconds to get you on Riverside over here, and we'll get you talking to us.
Yeah, DM me, follow me, like the podcast, guys. We're open to everything.
Absolutely. This is it was going to be an every state thing, and it turned into a whatever we want to talk about thing.
Yeah, I think just free ball it.
Yeah. Long live the bunny man.
Long live the bunny man.
Good night.